Good afternoon and welcome back to Broke Not Broken. And today I'm going to talk about something a little bit political and something that might actually tick Canadians off. The CRA has been hiding stuff from us, says the Fifth Estate. Imagine that, a company that takes our taxes and puts it towards government-funded things. Can you imagine a mistake like that happening? Fraudsters stealing tax dollars and putting it into bank accounts all over Canada. Imagine that. Them being hacked and not letting the general public know. Now, the Fifth Estate had written an article that grabbed my attention, and it was dated for November 14th of this year, which is 2024. Now, anybody who has ever had to deal with the CRA knows that they mean business, and business is booming on their end. Apparently, they're on a witch hunt looking for millions of dollars that they gave away to fraudsters during the pandemic. Now, this was around the same time they handed out the CERB benefits instead of EI to people that actually applied for EI. Now, I know of several people that received this CERB benefit that never applied for it and were forced to pay it back. It just magically appeared in their accounts just for 1 month, and they sent it back, and it was about $3,000. I also know of a family that received it instead of EI for 1 month, as their spouse was an essential worker and went back to work and canceled their EI. Now, this same family is being taken to the cleaners by the CRA right now. Because right now they are claiming, and I wrote the number down, that they owe $14,286.79 in CERB benefits. How is that possible when they only received $3,000? I don't know. Must be government math. 1 + 1 = 2 million. Must be. Not only that, the government itself is charging these people $300 a month for money they never received. Could they have been part of, I don't know, fraud? Because their safeguards didn't work? Now, thank God for this whistleblower that works for the CRA that spoke to the Fifth Estate and CBC to say that it's not a couple $1,000,000. It's in the hundreds of millions of dollars that the CRA has lost of our tax dollars. Makes you wonder what they're doing in their offices. Or better yet, where our money actually is. Now, I know for the family that owes the $14,286 that they are garnishing to the tune of 30% the wages of the husband of this family, who was deemed an essential worker during COVID and worked. If that doesn't tick you off, I don't know what should. Because if you didn't receive the money, why on earth should you have to pay it back? Now, they are in a fight, a lawsuit with the government they're in a lawsuit currently with the government in order to stop this ridiculous garnishing of their wages before they end up living in a tent under a bridge. Because at this point, this family is struggling to pay their bills, and that's not fair. They are taxpayers. They paid their dues. How about the government did the right thing at the time that COVID was happening and give people their EI instead of putting them on a program that was new and then making them pay it back twice This family paid the $3,000 back 2 times, and now it's $14,286.79. Not to mention they're paying interest of $300 a month. They're being garnished 30% of their wages for something they never received. Like, I'm thankful for these whistleblowers. Like, there are, I'm sure, millions of Canadians in the same boat asking the same questions. Where were your safeguards, CRA? Like, our funds, when we apply for EI or CPP or whatever we're applying for, we pay for that. And we're entitled to that. The article did say that the commissioner's desk emailed out everybody saying we want to uphold our integrity. Well, the most integrous thing you could do is tell the taxpayers the truth. If it wasn't for one bank noticing that $40 million had been deposited into a bank account for one person, there wouldn't have been oh my God, we've had a breach. Not only that, there was several millions of dollars, I mean tens of millions, going to other banks in one individual's name. How does that slip through your fingers? I mean, if some person doesn't put a textbook in or has the wrong price, you send out an envelope saying you messed up on your taxes, you owe us 47 cents. How do you let millions of taxpayers' dollars just slide through your fingers? I would love to know. Can somebody please answer me on this? Now, they're trying to silence their employees, the whistleblowers, and trying to keep the general public from panicking. Well, that sounds about the right thing to do, Commissioner. That sounds wonderful. But as a taxpayer, I am confused as how the heck this happened. And I don't think that pulling back all these CERB benefits and all these things is really going to help you at this point. You failed. Your fail-safes failed. And you failed the Canadian public. The same people that pay your wages, your boss's wages, everybody at a desk's wages. You failed them. And you failed them epically by not telling the truth. And I mean the whole truth. How much money is missing? And how many more families have to pay a price for your lack of integrity? I don't know. Those are questions only the CRA can answer based on this article. And I'm sure there's going to be more whistleblowers and good people standing up for the public, for the Canadian public. It's just unfreaking believable that as a Canadian, we trust these people with our funds and to do the right thing. And yet you're worried about your integrity and question the integrity of the taxpayers when they hand in their taxes, or when you find something as like simple as a 47 cent differential on somebody's taxes, and have the nerve to send them a letter that cost you probably $7 to send, plus all the time for all your staff to do it. Can't eat that, but are willing to hide the millions, possibly billions of dollars that are currently missing from the Canadian kitty for taxes, for benefits, for public infrastructure stuff. And I mean public infrastructure stuff like such as welfare, social services, stuff like that. Like what in the absolute fill in the blank, people, fill in the blank, because I'm at a loss for words as to how this could happen. Like I said, I know several families. They're in the same boat as the one that I was discussing, the $14,000. They never received it. Nobody's coming to help them. Nobody's going to bring presents for their children. They are working class people. So, I mean, if somebody could come forward and, you know, tame down this mama bear, I guess, if you want to call me that. And I'm a mama bear for all these people I know and love that this has happened to. You know, this is so bloody wrong. Bloody wrong. And, I mean, you can either hide the truth or wait for the whistleblowers, Commissioner. But, I mean, I'm only going off one of many articles that have come out, and I know from the experience I have with my friend what's happening to her and her family and how they're having to struggle because of something that's going wrong at the CRA. And do you feel bad that they're not going to celebrate Christmas this year because they have to put food in their children's bellies because you're garnishing their wages for something they never received? Just saying. But don't worry, the fraudster that got, that got millions of taxpayers' dollars, those are the ones that can get away with it. Okay. Right on. Right on. Well, that's my political view of this. I'm going to attach the Fifth Estate article. And if anybody out there, any Canadian out there, has experienced the CERB BS, where you're supposed to get EI, but they transfer you to CERB and you never actually got your EI, please feel free to comment in the comment section and let other people know that they're not alone in this fight to not only feed yourselves at this point, but find the money to keep a roof over your heads while the CRA is just taken. Thank you. Like, share. Have a wonderful afternoon.